I'm joined now by David Leopold, a Chambers rank corporate immigration attorney. David, look, thank you very, very much. I'm aware that you've worked for the Biden-Harris transition team and presidential campaign as well. How do you rate what's going on at the southern border and Joe Biden's response to illegal immigration? From an outsider's perspective like mine, looking at that southern border, it just looks absolutely horrendous. Has he done enough?
Well, look, the southern border has been a problem not only for President Biden, but for Trump before him, for Obama before him, and for George Bush before him. We have an issue at the southern border, and the problem is that we don't have an immigration system that makes any sense or that works. So what's happened is immigrants from all over the world have defaulted to the asylum system, and it's a mess, and Congress needs to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But people have been crying out for this for a very long time. And am I right in saying that, the United Nations are refusing to actually change their definition of an asylum seeker? So essentially, as it stands, anyone moving from a poorer country to a wealthier country, pretty much any woman, pretty much anybody who is gay or claiming to be gay, or from a country that is deemed, frankly, worse than America in a human rights standing, could essentially just come to America and claim asylum.
Well, American law is pretty broad on that. Anybody can claim asylum who enters the country, whether or not they enter at a port of entry or whether they enter between the ports of entry, regardless of how they get here. Getting asylum, though, is a different story, and it's a very high standard. As you point out, it's not easy to get asylum. The problem is that the system is so overwhelmed that folks who are waiting for their asylum interviews and their day in court end up waiting for years, and that has to be fixed. Otherwise, we've got an overwhelmed immigration system, asylum system, and this problem is never going to end, regardless of who's sitting in the White House.
Yeah, how do you fix that, though, without just waving people through? I mean, what level of security is there? And also, what is to prevent people from just going missing in that years-long process of asylum applications?
Well, look, it's not going to be fixed overnight. You're right, but you have to have grown-ups sitting down, Republicans, Democrats, whomever, sitting down and saying, "Hey, look, we're going to put politics out of this, and we are going to fix this." Now, you have a situation where the Congress, the Republicans in Congress, just authored a bill that would have brought $118 billion to fix at least the beginning of the fix of this system, restricting asylum, doing a lot of things that people on the pro-immigration advocates were appalled about, but it was compromised. The problem is you've got a guy running for president named Donald Trump who would rather put his own political fortunes first and shut it down. Even the Republicans who wrote it weren't allowed to support it. So politics is the problem here at the moment. And, we need a long-term solution.